Today I went to the beach to meet up with someone from the Rainbow Gathering. She posted that she would be in Cancun for a few hours, and I decided to hit her up and we hung out at the beach. And the first thing that we did was we gave each other a long and warm hug, and it was so good to reconnect with someone of the family. And it made me think a little bit about how I used to be way more judgmental about these types of people, because she looked very hippie, you know, the typical, I don't know, clothing style, a little bit alternative. And I used to not really understand these people, perhaps. Even though I was never against them, I was always a little bit judgmental, to be honest. You know, like these people with big billboards, free hugs, or the street artists. On my way to the beach, I was sitting on the bus, and there was this woman who was a street artist, a street performer. So when the car stopped, she started to perform some street dancing, and then right before the lights turn green, she collects some money. And I remember there is a few people in Ghent, in my hometown, who do this every single day. They are street artists who probably just live from the donations of people that pay them for their performance. And I always thought, are these people just unwilling to get a normal job? Or, I don't know, is this out of laziness, or because they are so much against the system that they don't know what else to do or something? Like, I had all these judgments in my mind. But now that I've spent some time at the Rainbow Gathering surrounded by all these amazingly beautiful people, my perceptions and thoughts really changed, completely changed, okay? The Rainbow Gathering opened me up to a whole new way of life, right? You simply have a tent, a roof above your head, basically, and then you have community, and people cook, people take care of each other, people make sure that the whole organization is running smoothly. And of course, sometimes you have small issues and things that need to be solved, but that is something you will always run into when you are living together with other people. Even if you're living by yourself, you run into problems that you need to solve, right? But at the gathering, people just hug each other freely. There is so much love, so much intimacy, connection, compassion, and it's beautiful. It's something that I've been longing for since forever, right? To feel so connected. And it's these people who share freely, who give their affection freely, and the free hugs are usually these types of hippie people that I was a little bit, I don't know, like, I was not against them, but I had my judgments about them. I was always a little bit afraid. Like, I thought they were perhaps people who don't shower often, and they don't really take care of their personal hygiene and things like that. And I'm very much burned on my personal hygiene. I take showers twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. I like to wear fresh, clean clothes, you know. So it's really important for me to be hygienic. And I always thought that these people were not really. And it was a big lesson for me at the Rainbow Gathering to let that go, to walk barefoot in the mud. And at some point, I even, after it rained for hours, I overcame my resistance and fear of the mud in a way. And I was literally just diving into the mud, like smearing mud all over my body as a little bit of a rebellion against my fear of the dirt, you know, because I was legitimately feeling resistance against getting myself dirty, my clothes dirty. I didn't want them to be dirty, but then I realized you can wash it off, you know, you can take a shower, you can wash your clothes in the river, you can even wash them back when you're back home, and they will be clean. And if they never get proper clean, then you can buy new clothes. So my perception about these people really changed. Now I actually admire these people that do street performing for money. It's a beautiful way to live, and it's a modest life. You will not get rich from doing this. You will earn enough money to buy yourself some food and perhaps like pay for a small room somewhere, and that's a modest life, but it's a beautiful life in a way. And when I get back to Belgium, I will give money to these guys and girls performing at the red lights, at the traffic lights. Not the red lights, that's another district, but the traffic lights, because I now understand what their life is about, or at least I've seen a glimpse of it, and I feel inspired. I feel drawn to it a lot more, and I admire people who choose that path, because it's a modest path, and it's a different way of living. Because I was raised in a typical Western culture, you know, and especially in Belgium, it's very common, like in the US, for example, to, you know, go to school, go to college, get a job, buy a house, and pay your mortgage for the rest of your life, kind of thing, you know. But there are so many different ways to live, and I explored the traveling lifestyle. You know, I've traveled for years as a digital nomad, but I've never considered this hippie lifestyle in a way, right? And so we get lost in one single thread of life, one single way of living. And I think that exposing yourself to different ways of living can really open up your mind. It can really give you a different perspective about the world, and that is a beautiful thing to experience, truly. I have a classmate who moved to Africa to live amongst the tribes. She is designing footwear for them, like sandals, like sustainable sandals. And I was always like, why would you want to do that? Like, it doesn't make sense to live in a foreign country, in a tribe that you don't speak the language of, to make sandals there. Like, what a way to live your life. And I kind of even put myself above that, perhaps, you know, like, that's just such a low way to live. But I have to absolutely admit that I was wrong. I was very wrong. And I need to humble myself, because now I understand it a lot better, and I didn't understand it before because I didn't live it. And now I have, at least for a short amount of time. But that gave me enough insight into what it's like to understand it better. And, you know, reading about things and hearing other people talk about things can be useful, but the king of wisdom is always first-hand experience. And that is something that I learned very early on in my life. And when I heard about something that I was curious about, I always went to go look for it, to actually experience it on a deeper level, on a personal level. And those experiences, that is not knowing, that is knowing. You know, knowing with the head it's intellectual, it's reading about it, it's talking about it, it's language, it's just thinking. But knowing in the heart, that is a completely different type of knowing. So I wanted to share my revised opinion and judgments around classical, stereotypical hippie people, street artists, people who live this life. You know, it's amazing. You can take your juggling balls and your whatever toys you use to do your street art, or your instrument, whatever, you can take it with you anywhere, and you can make money anywhere. You can travel the world just doing that. And yes, it takes you a couple hours every day to perform, but it's also practice. You know, you can practice your skill, you can practice your performance, and you make money with that. And that's beautiful, because it doesn't have to be a lot of money to be able to travel. There are so many free ways to travel. You can do hitchhiking, you can find cheap tickets, you can walk, you can buy a bicycle or your own car and share rides. There's so many different ways to explore this planet. And so I guess I want to open up your mind about this a little bit, and hopefully spike your interest to explore this for yourself. Perhaps when you come across a hippie person or a street performer, instead of just judging them, strike up a conversation, you know, approach them and ask them a few questions. Feel into who they are, and I'm sure you will discover that they are beautifully loving beings. And when somebody is standing in your city with a billboard, free hugs, go give them a hug. It will feel really good. And I'm seriously considering doing something like that myself. Just put a cardboard, free hugs, and go walk around the city in Budapest when I'm back there and give people free hugs. That sounds like an incredible thing to do. Perhaps I'll even do it here in Mexico. But I think I would love to do it in Budapest also to break a little bit of the conditioning that I have there, because it's a more westernized city and it's more like Europe, so you know there is more fear of judgment still there. So I would love to bring that open attitude, open approach to life to that city as well. So yeah, I hope I could spark some ideas and share my enthusiasm and revised opinions on the hippie life, because I am more and more starting to understand it on a deeper level and shed the judgments that I have. And of course it's probably not going to be a lifestyle that I would want to live for the rest of my life, but it's definitely a lifestyle that I want to explore more deeply because I can see its value. And the girl that I spent some time with today at the beach, she was so chill, so loving, so warm. She was educating people for free in Peru, in the Amazona, and she had such a good heart, really good intentions. She wants to make a difference in the world in a different way than I do, but she also dedicates her life to helping others for free. And this is beautiful approach to life, and I very, very much resonate with that. So maybe you can think about ways to offer your help or to volunteer somewhere. It's profound. It's profound to do something good for other people for free or for very little money. And of course I'm not saying to slave away and to abandon yourself, to sacrifice yourself for others and hurt yourself in the process. That's not what I'm saying. But spending some time giving to others, freely giving, that's a beautiful thing, and that can change your life. It really can. The experience of the appreciation and the gratitude that you receive in return, it's invaluable. It's really, really invaluable. So yeah, I will be exploring this for myself a lot more. I will also report back here on the channel on how this is going for me, and I will learn a lot from this, I'm sure. So yeah, my revised opinions on hippie people in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank you for being here with me, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.